It's been a great day. Good morning. You like that? Good morning. Well, I'm here. My hair looks a hot mess. Don't look at me. I don't even care. Because I'm ready to talk about some football and help you guys out. Because, that's what I do. Um, week 5. I can't believe it's already week 5. I can't believe we've already got some bye weeks. Um, it's been crazy. I wasn't I don't like bye weeks at week 4. I like late bye weeks. This week we have Detroit Lions and Miami Dolphins are on a bye week this week. Um, so if you have anybody from that team, you're pretty sure, hopefully by now, that you know that you're not supposed to be playing these people. But I'm here to let you know bye weeks. Next week's bye weeks. Week 6, that's when they start accumulating a lot. Bye weeks next week is Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, Indianapolis Colts, and Oakland Raiders. Starts next week. Not next week, week 6. Um, what is next week? Haha. I need to wake up. Week 7 is the Panthers, Browns, Steelers, and Buccaneers. That's the week I'm a little worried about because McCaffrey is my dude right now. In one league, I am 4-0. And I would like to thank, unfortunately, it is my team and it against my team, but Brett Maher did not get the points needed because she could have won. That she had a kicker, and I was only up by 9 points, and he did not get her 9 points, so I won 4-0. Yes, I am. I actually did win that league last year, and I even upset last week, which was in one league. I'm 2-2 in that league. I thought my team was good, but then my team is not that so good because I got hit with the injury bug. But it's okay. I'm gonna come back strong, real strong. Um, let's talk about some quarterbacks. This week, my number one quarterback, and you probably already know it, it is Patrick Mahomes versus Indy. Indy's defense is just there. No offense to him, but it's just there. Um, we they don't do nothing. They I feel bad for Brissett kind of just thrown into the fire, but it is what it is. Um, but my number 2, and I'm sorry, Atlanta, but it's Deshaun Watson. I have a feeling just because what has been going on with every other team, I think Deshaun Watson is going to have a field day against you guys. Like I said, no offense, Falcons fans. My bad. Um, but number 3, Lamar Jackson against Pittsburgh. I'm a little worried about this situation. I understand he's a more mobile quarterback, but I am a little worried about this just due to the fact that last week Pittsburgh got 8 sacks on Andy Dalton. 8. So that is huge. But like I said, Andy Dalton is not a Lamar, and he's not mobile like him. But I do think it's going to be what they're going to do is try to stop him at all costs. Tom Brady versus Washington. I was reading yesterday, and it said to start and sit, and I thought it was pretty hilarious because Yahoo said if you have anybody from Washington, sit them all. They just don't even care. Not even the rookie, just sit them all. I'm not going to say that there is a couple people to play, but Tom Brady versus Washington at Washington, Tom Brady's going to have a field day. Carson Wentz against versus New York Jets. Matt Ryan, he's got to be in there. He's been sacked 10 times this year, and they got to protect him. Everybody knows I like to talk about Matt Ryan. You have to protect him. Dakota Prescott versus Green Bay. This is at home. Definitely start him. I'm starting him in one league, and I think since Gallup was one of my injured players, I am going to start him. Even though he is coming from that knee injury, they need him like we need air. Kyler Murray at Cincinnati is my next QB. He has been sacked 20 times. 20. Poor kid is running for his life. Deshaun Watson is up there too with like 19. Both of them they're getting their points, but they're running for their life at the same time. Would I personally start Kyler Murray at Cincinnati? Most definitely. Cincinnati's defense has just been very inconsistent. And Aaron Rodgers at Dallas. He's still got some weapons, but Devontae Adams is out this week. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that is a big deal. And then my surprise quarterback in there is Jameis Winston. And I have to throw him in there after the game he had versus the Rams. Rams defense is supposed to be up there and balling out of control. And they're not doing much of nothing. They got a couple turnovers, but you let Jameis Winston put like 50-something points on you? Bro. Jameis Winston, the dude that ate the W on national television and then lost after eating the W? Yeah. But he is up there in my number 10. Some honorable mentions this week. I do have Phillip Rivers versus Denver. I have Jimmy Garoppolo versus Cleveland. That is a Monday night game. Baker Mayfield at San Francisco. And Daniel Jones is another one that I keep an eye on versus Minnesota. Some people I would probably not play this week. I probably wouldn't play Joey Flacco. I probably definitely not playing Colt McCoy or Dwayne Haskins. It depends on who starts. If he even comes in later on, because that might be a possibility too. I wouldn't do it. Probably Derek Carr versus Chicago's defense. I'm not for sure, even though Derek Carr has been doing under the radar stuff, I'm not for sure if I would play him. But again, it is what it is. Good morning, Mike. You have woken up way too hostile this morning. I understand your nickname is Mad Mike, but you don't have to be mad this early in the morning. Jesus loves you, Mike. Jesus loves you. We're going to go talk about running backs, and this might sound impartial, but my number one running back is my running back, Ezekiel Elliott, versus Green Bay. Green Bay has been giving up a lot of yards to running backs, so he has to be number one. Number two is Dalvin Cook at the Giants. You have to play him. My number three, and I was kind of iffy. It's Jacksonville's defense is why I'm kind of iffy putting him there. But it's Christian McCaffrey. He's going to get his points regardless. He's going to eat if they even have to throw it to him. He's going to eat. Jackson's defense is still good, but it's not as it was last year or the year before. Alvin Kamara. You have to play him versus Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's run defense has actually stepped up this season. Watch out. Who knew? I'm just saying, who knew? I wasn't ready for it. I'm telling you, if anybody said they were ready for Tampa Bay, what they've been doing this year, they lying to you. I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't even think Tampa Bay knew what they were doing. And Tampa Bay's fans knew what they were doing. But Tampa Bay's run defense is not too shabby this year. So just watch it. I know the Patriots are leading in that category against the run defense. But like I said, we'll talk about that. I'm going on a tangent because, that's what I do. But back to what I was talking about. Ezekiel Elliott, number one. Dalvin Cook, number two. Christian McCaffrey, number three. Saquon Barkley is not playing, or he'd definitely probably been up there. Alvin Kamara, number four. Nick Chubb is a must start. Let me have a little story about Nick Chubb. Guys listening? You listening? Okay, good. So Nick Chubb is on my husband's team. You already see where this is going? And he did not ask his wife fantasy advice. Me. He didn't ask me. Did his own thing. And yeah. He benched Nick Chubb last week. Benched him. Just gonna sip this water. Then he looks at me and says, I benched him. Who told you to bench him? I told you Duke Johnson is not a running back that you need to have in over Nick Chubb. You do not bench Nick Chubb unless he's on a bye. And so last week in this particular league, I'm thinking it's his. He had Nick Chubb on the bench, and he had like 60 something points on the bench, like 50, 60 something points on the bench. And I'm like, bro, you could have won. Actually, he ended up winning. He did end up winning, but he could have killed it. Nick Chubb, he had James Conner on the bench. And Nick Chubb. And I'm like, bro, what? I'm not giving him no more advice because, like I said, he don't want to listen to me. He doesn't listen to me. He wants to do his own thing. Go for it. That's why you keep losing. Just saying. Listen to me. Don't listen to me. See what happens. Dre listens to me, and look what happened to him last year. See? And Dre beat me this week. Congrats to my BFF. My team did not decide to show, and he beat me. Going on. David Johnson at Cincinnati. Cincinnati has been giving up the most points to running backs, so you have to play him. Derrick Henry versus that Buffalo defense. Just watch out. I know he's dealing with some type of injury, but he is playing. So watch out. Play. Leonard Fournette last week had an amazing game, 220 yards against Denver. So this week at Carolina, I expect him not to do 220, but I do expect him to have a monstrous game. Joe Mixon versus Arizona. Again, Arizona's defense has been giving up yards, and Mark Ingram has been quietly doing his thing up in Baltimore. You got to play him. A couple of people I would play. I would play Eckler and Melvin Gordon. I understand that Melvin Gordon is getting a limited role, but you have to play them. It's against Denver. Like I said, if Leonard Fournette hurt ankles can get 220 yards, those two can too. So play them. James Conner, play him. Against that Baltimore's defense, you saw what Nick Chubb did, and I feel like Nick Chubb and James Conner are almost similar and same in their game. Play him. Some people I would probably stay away from this week. I would probably watch out for Ronald Jones. I don't know if he'll be good against, because that New Orleans defense, run defense, anybody that's a running back for Tampa Bay, I don't know if I would play them this week because New Orleans defense shut down Ezekiel. They knew exactly what to do. So just watch out for that. Duke Johnson, again, no one's scared of him. I would not play him. Adrian Peterson, any running back for Washington. In one situation, I actually have to kind of play him because I have no running back in that league. Pray for me. Melvin Gordon's back, so I think I was able to probably maybe bench Thompson, but pray for me because that team is just. But I got Melvin Gordon back, so it's all good. Let's go ahead and talk about some wide receivers. I did forget to mention Josh Allen did clear concussion protocol when I was talking about quarterback, so he is expected to play. If you have him, I would expect him. I would play him. I actually picked him up in a couple weeks because I am liking what I see from the kid. James Conner practice, so he is expected to full go. Marlon Mack is still listed questionable. So just keep an eye out on that if you do possibly have him and you kind of need it. You might want to look in a different area for a running back if he does not make it. My number one and two, I think it's like 1A and 1B because it's Hopkins versus Julio. This is the game that you're wanting to see. You want to see these two have a monstrous game, and you want to see these two have a monstrous game against each other, and that's what I want. I'm ready for it. I'm hoping this game. I forgot what time this game starts, but I'm hoping that it's not at the same time as mine. If you see a shadow in the back, that's only my husband. I already talked about him. But you want to see this too. It's going to be at Houston, so I hope both of them. I hope both of them have a monstrous game. Both of them are due for it. Hi, baby. You want to say hi to people? You want to say hi to Uncle Mike and Uncle Brian? You want to say hi? Okay. Say hi.
Gaga.
Gaga. We are not watching Gaga. A sports show. You say hi. Say football. You gonna go watch some football? Yeah. Say bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was my son. If anybody is new to the show, that is my son Tariq. He does make an appearance every once in a while. But let's go back. Another one is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has been doing his games, and I think he's going to have another monstrous one. Odell Beckham. Dude, you were there. Then it was the Jarvis Landry show. Then you weren't there. I need you to make some points. Some dude was actually trying to trade me Jarvis Landry for Juju. And the only reason I turned it down is because that would put both of my wide receivers on a bye because I have Odell. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to have all my receiving core on a bye at the same time. That was the real reason I turned it down. If I didn't already have Odell, I probably would have took it, but I'm not taking it. Michael Thomas versus Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin at New Orleans. Chris Godwin's having a monstrous season. You got him, play him. Mike Evans, both of them, but Godwin has been kind of taking the show over. Amari Cooper versus Green Bay. He's not 100%, but I still would play him. Sammy Watkins, he's been kind of quiet lately, but he has been getting those points. And then there's this man that I need to talk about, Adam Thielen. I benched you. I want you to have a good game because I think I have you in another week. But if you have this monstrous game and I benched you in this league and I lose, me and you are going to have some talk. Some starts. Some people I would start still. Tyler Boyd. They don't know if AJ Green's coming back, so you have to play Tyler Boyd. Juju, you have to put him in. Julian Edelman, that's who I benched Adam Thielen for. And I know some people are going to be like, you benched Julian Edelman? I mean, you put Julian Edelman over Thielen? I got Tom Brady. And they're playing Washington. And I get double points. And I have Patriots defense. So you know the rest. Larry Fitzgerald, again, he's been doing his thing under the radar. So definitely play him. He's been quietly getting his yards, getting over 100 yards. And Allen Robinson versus at Oakland. Chase Daniel is the quarterback right now. Mizou. Yes, he is Mizzou alumni. And he is. I've watched his whole career. I do think Chase came in there and did what he had to do last week, and I think he's going to do it again. Some people I would stay away from this week. Sterling Shepard. I don't know if I would play him this week. Just kind of iffy. Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to get something, but not a lot. John Brown. Buffalo. I just don't know. And Golden Tate comes back this week. So I think they're going to try to get Golden Tate the ball more than anything. But like I said, they are playing. We're going to see how Jones does against a real defense, and that's Minnesota's defense. Minnesota's defense, their offense might not be good, but they still have a decent, very decent defense with some great corners. So I wouldn't play. I technically wouldn't play none of them, but if you have them and you have to, that's a situation. I have a couple leagues that are like that. Let's go ahead and move to tight ends. Travis Kelce, of course, has to be number one versus Indy. George Kittle, Monday night game versus Cleveland. They're still technically undefeated because they already had a bye week last week. So let's see what's going to happen with San Francisco. A lot of people think that Cleveland's going to win this game. I just kind of have a feeling that San Francisco might just stay undefeated. Zach Ertz versus the Jets. Evan Ingram. I don't think he's going to get, if they feed the ball like I think, because now they're having actually wide receivers back in their stadium, like they didn't just pick them up off the streets. Like I said, they have Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate back. He's going to get his points because he actually has been the most consistent out of all three, because he hasn't been hurt. He hasn't been suspended. All the above. But he'll probably get the most points out of all of them. That's my bold prediction. Evan Ingram's going to have the most points out of all the receiving corps. Mark Andrews, he has been very consistent in Baltimore. Play him. Darren Waller. When I watched him in the preseason, I was like, he's going to be something special. And sure enough, he is. Lately, he has been doing everything that you want your tight end to do, and they have been feeding him the ball. You got Darren Waller, play Darren Waller. Greg Olsen, the old man, you have to play old man. Austin Hooper. Let's talk about Austin Hooper for a second, because I told people at the very beginning he's going to have a great season. Last year, Austin Hooper had a phenomenal season last year. And it was under the radar. And it was under the radar because people weren't paying attention to him, just due to the fact that Atlanta was not doing that great. He has been getting the ball faithfully. And he has been getting his yards faithfully. You cannot... I think he's going to have another monstrous year. He has been picking up the slack this season. He's already got 307 yards. He's already had 2 touchdowns. I have a feeling he's going to be over 1,000 yards at this rate. He's going to be well over 1,000 yards. If you have Austin Hooper, you play Austin Hooper. Like I said, right now, he's the one that's been getting the ball the most. You have to play him. Mad Mike, that was for you. That was for you. Yes. But keep going. Delaney Walker. Dude, you had -1 points for me last week. That is unacceptable. Marcus Mariota. You need to pass to Delaney, because last year, like I spoke, Delaney Walker had one of the best in one of the seasons in his tight. And he had -1 points for me. That should not be happening at all. Again, another person had a great season last year, Eric Ebron. And that's crazy. And he's not doing hardly nothing. Another tight end I would play, Jimmy Graham. And you're going to be like, Dallas's weakness is tight ends. Believe it or not. And I would play him. I think he's going to get a touchdown. I don't want him to get a touchdown, but my inside gut core is telling me he's going to get a touchdown. Another tight end I would play, Jared Cook. Jason Witten. Everybody's been looking like you have to play Jason Witten. I would play Jason Witten. And it's not even because he's been on my team. It's just because he's been doing what he's got to do. Yes, granted, he fumbled last week. He doesn't fumble often, but he's very consistent, and he was getting touchdowns in all the games. He's got 144 yards already. Yeah, I know that's low, but if you need somebody just to get your points here and there, and you're looking for a tight end, get him. Ignore the background. My child is screaming. I don't know what's going on, but he's probably about to come back in here because that's what he does. Who to stay away from? Ricky Seals-Jones for Cleveland. Yeah, Mamba. That's my son playing with my fitness ball. Jacksonville's tight end James O'Shaughnessy. I wouldn't play him. Pittsburgh just got Nick Vannett from the Seahawks. I would play him at your own risk. Like I said, I personally would not play him, but that does not mean you can't play him. Kickers. I really don't like to talk about kickers just because they're kickers. This one dude in my husband's league is balling out of control. He don't even have a kicker. But kickers we'll go through real quickly. Buckner for Kansas City. Tucker, Lutz, Gold. Brett Maher actually might do something this week. Jason Myers, Jake Elliott, and Carolina's kicker Sly. You realize I did not say New England's kicker because he is on the IR. May I help you, sir? Excuse me, little one. Yes. Go ahead and good kickers get good kickers. That's true, Mike. They don't get any love. My favorite is Greg Zuerlein, which he already played, and it's Justin Tucker. I try to get either one on my team. They both go so quickly. Some defenses that you should play this weekend. New England. Yeah, New England's defense, play them. That was the real reason I won last weekend, because New England's defense last weekend won it for me. They're at Washington. You play them. Chicago is at Oakland. I think Oakland's going to give them issues, but I still think Chicago is going to do Chicago things. Philadelphia's defense is at versus the Jets. Tennessee's defense and Buffalo's defense, they're playing each other. I would play both. But I would play Buffalo's defense before I would play Tennessee if you would ask, but they're right there at the same. Minnesota's defense against the Giants, it's a must start. It's a must. The Chargers against Denver. Flacco I don't know what's going on in Denver. I think it's the water. It's that Coors. See? You go to Denver, get Coors, and you look like garbage. Like, even Peyton went there and looked horrible. Like, I don't know what's going on. I swear it's the water, the air, something. Carolina's defense versus Jacksonville. Baltimore's defense against Pittsburgh, and then San Francisco's defense. All these teams you have to start. Like I said, we're going to talk about some injuries. Like I said earlier, Josh Allen did clear. Marlon Mack is questionable, like I said earlier. Traquan Smith is expected to play. Chris Godwin is expected to play. Rex Burkhead is questionable still, so just keep an eye out on that. And that was Friday. Michael Gallup is questionable, but he is expected to play, and I'm excited. Just like Edelman is the same situation. He's quite incredible, but he's going to play. But like I said, if he doesn't play, I'll just put in Adam Thielen, and I'll be okay. Sammy Watkins is questionable. But he did practice Wednesday and Thursday, so I'm expecting him to play. And then Damian Williams for the Kansas City Chiefs, he's expected to play as well. Mike Williams, he's expected to play week 5. He has a back issue, so I would play him at your own risk because those back issues are just kind of ugh. But LaShawn McCoy was not on the injury list this week, so expect him to play as well. He's going to probably more likely be the backup to Damian. Juju Smith was questionable, but he expect him to play. T.Y. Hilton looks like that he will probably actually come back and play this week. It looks good. Yesterday's Thursday night's game, Brandon Cooks, after that one catch, got knocked out. He is in concussion protocol. I will talk about him next week, but just keep an eye out on that for next week's game. Stephon Diggs, even though there's all this controversy that he's skipping meetings and he's skipping practice and he wants to be traded, and then he's putting up crazy stuff on his Twitter, and then he's taking it down immediately. He's expected to play this week. We'll see if him and Thielen get the ball. This is what happens when you overpay a quarterback that's mediocre. Devontae Adams is ruled out against against the Cowboys. That's a big deal for them. If you have a wide receiver, look at Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's going to be the number 1 receiver for right now. Geronimo Allison is going to play a big part. And like I said, Jimmy Graham is going to have to get targets because all of them have to step up this week. And that's what happened. That's how the Eagles beat them, because Devontae was having a monstrous game. And then right when he got hurt, the Eagles shut everybody else down, and boom. Terry McLaurin is the Redskins. Just let him come, because I can still hear him cry. Liston is questionable, but I expect him to play. That would probably be the only person that I would expect to play, but he was ruled out at the game time last week. So just keep an eye on it. They start at noon. But if I had to play him and he's playing, I would play him. Tyreek Hill is not playing this week. They thought he might come back this week, but he is not going to make it. Colt McCoy is the starter this week for the Redskins. I totally forgot about that. Everybody kept thinking it was Dwayne Haskins, and I've been talking to my friends that are Redskins fans and season ticket holders and follow the team faithfully, and they all told me that Colt McCoy was going to start. And sure enough, here we are. I don't know if Jalen Ramsey has really got back issues, but he's already ruled out for week 5 because of a back issue. Jarvis Landry did get cleared for concussion protocol, so he is going to play this week. Deshaun Jackson is already ruled out. This kid, Deshaun, you having monstrous games, and then boom. Injury bug has already caught back up to you. Sam Darnold is practicing, but he is not going to play, which is good because they actually might see him come back this week. Next week, of course, we're going to talk about week 6. If you want to ask me any fantasy advice, find me on Facebook, LaDonna Samani. Everything fantasy sports is my group, Strictly Prohibited Network. We have a group, we have a page, we have Twitter. Find me, find us. We will help you. I love to help people fantasy. I love giving advice. I love helping people get money because that's most of us play for money. Most of us don't do free leagues. Oh, and that free league that I am doing and I'm trying to quit, I actually won a couple. I don't know how I did it because I'm really not paying attention to that league. Not just because I don't like it. It's really hard because like I said, we have 2 of everything. And so if your quarterback goes down, which I had both of my quarterbacks go down last week because my quarterbacks were just crappy in the begin with, It is really hard, but I won. That was, I don't know how. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to go with it. And this week I am projected right now to lose. But you have two quarterbacks, two wide receivers, two tight ends, two. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots to put anybody in. You can even put a quarterback in there if you have a quarterback. And then you have defensive players. You have two kickers and you have two defenses and you have three defensive players. I didn't expect all that. I didn't expect to have all that. It was really hard to draft for this league. And I had like number 12. So by the time quarterbacks came around, I got nothing. I do have Aaron Rodgers, but he's the only thing I got. He's the only hope that I have for my team. I did have Mitch, and of course, you already know what that happened. So I picked up Chase Daniel because I had a feeling nobody was going to pick him up. I even had to pick up Court McCoy because, like I said, that's how bad it is right now with the quarterback situation in that league. Pray for me. Pray for that team. It needs Jesus and a miracle and all the disciples to hug it because like I said, it's bad. One of my surprise picks this week, well, last week, and he's been doing good for me, is Will Dissly. If you had him, I hope you played him because he's been getting his yardage too. But like I said, he played Thursday night. That is why I did not speak about him. Next week, we'll do this all over again. Same time, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. Please check out, there is another show that comes on Strictly Prohibited Network. It's a Hodgepodge show. They will be on tonight. You can find them on Spreaker because you can find me on Spreaker. If you're listening to me on Spreaker, I am on YouTube as well. Strictly Prohibited Network, YouTube. But like I said, Hodgepodge will be on tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern to 12. They go live in their group. They go live through StreamYard. So check them out. They'll be talking about the NHL, the NBA, baseball, Jalen Ramsey. They're going to do picks for tomorrow, for this week's games for the NFL. So check them out. Hey, Matt, almost wrapping up now. But check them out tonight. Like I said, 9 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Also, I do have another show with my husband. It's his show. I'm just a co-host. The Chain Reaction. We do a show after every Cowboys game. So check us out because the games tomorrow starts at 3:25. If we are a little bit late, it's because my baseball, Cardinals versus Braves, will be on at 3 o'clock. And I have to watch both. I can't miss neither one. So that game, every time there's a Cowboys game, look for the Chain Reaction. We are on YouTube and we are on Spreaker. And then on Tuesday nights is the Red Cup Rants. That show is amazeballs. You never know what you're going to get. You never know who is going to pop up. But it's, 3 guys, 4 guys, sometimes 5 guys. You never know. But it's Mike, Dre, Phil, and Dex that are usually on the mic talking. And that comes Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. They will give you the latest updates about all the NFL. They will talk about probably some UFC. They will probably be talking about the Braves and Cardinals because it is hate week between me and them. Since I am the Cardinals fan and they are everything about Georgia, so they are Braves fans. So check them out. Find us, everything. I love talking to you guys. This is great. Thanks for watching. And next week, find me. And I hope my husband listens to me this week if he has any advice. But again, thank you. Peace out. You want to say bye? Say bye. Say bye. Adios, guys.